In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to balance a CATV or HFC amplifier with a CX380C. Using the CX380C, we will set up the forward side of the system to the desired output levels and also set the return using the cable modem to the proper TX levels or the receive levels at the head end. So first of all, this is a Scientific Atlanta GainMaker series amplifier. It's a 1 gig amplifier with a 42 megahertz return, just the low band return. With this particular amplifier, I have RF coming in from my lab, and I have a desired configuration, or my system setup is going to be with a 34 on the low channel, 44 on the high channel. Those are the pilots, with a 10 dB tilt system, and I'm looking for a 37 dB transmit back. With this particular amplifier, it has a schematic of the forward signal and the return signal and how it goes through all the electronics. For the forward side, we hit first thing we hit is an equalizer, and by the way, forward is in blue across the diagram and return is in red. So on the forward side, first thing we hit is an equalizer. The equalizer sets the level, and if the level is flat and we need a tilt, it takes the low end and brings it down. And so based on the number of the equalizer, that's how many dB or how much it's going to affect the low end to give us our tilt. And then we have a pad, and then it goes through the amplifier, hits an interstage pad, then it goes through another EQ and pad before it exits out the door on the forward side. On the return side, it's got a pad, goes through its path, then it hits an equalizer and just another pad to set it up on the way out. So these are the components we will be using to balance and set up this amplifier. So with the meter, I'm going to go ahead and start it up. Okay, now we have the CX380C online, or on the screen. First thing we're going to want to do is we want to set up the forward. And before we do any settings or any configurations, we want to make sure that we document what is currently set up in the meter, or in the amplifier. So there's two ways to do, or two things you should do. You should document it with, have a pad of paper and document all the pads and EQs that are used currently in this setup. And also another good thing to do is take a picture with your phone. And that way you have printed documentation and also photographic documentation. So you want to do that before you get started. And also, this amplifier has an AGC. So with an AGC, which is the automatic gain control, it will automatically adjust the levels of the system based on level fluctuations. So if the temperature on the plant, it gets really cold, the level could drop or increase based on the temperature. The AGC will adjust the levels and maintain it at the level that it was set to. So before we can do any kind of configuration on the amplifier, we need to set this AGC to 1. And that's listed up over here as 1 is set for thermal and 3 is AGC on. So now that our AGC is off, we can go ahead and start balancing this amplifier, or at least look at it. So we want to use the tilt mode in the CX380C. There's a high pilot and a low pilot. It's a low frequency, the lowest frequency, and the highest frequency that they use to balance the tilt and the levels of the system. In this case, I have mine set up for channel 14 for the low, which is 123 megahertz, and channel 126, 807 megahertz for the high. And again, we want to make this 34 on the low, 44 on the high, which gives us a 10 dB tilt. That's what we're going to be aiming for. So we start up the meter, and we look at what our current measurements are. Okay, so right now I can see that our tilt is off and our levels are off. I don't have my 34 or my 44. So the first thing you have to do when setting up an amplifier is you always adjust the tilt. You want to make sure you get that tilt to the right level before you even start adjusting the forwards or the levels itself, or the whole, both channels. So in this case, I have an 18 and we got a 15 dB tilt, so we're about 5 dB hot. So I need to reduce the size of this EQ. So I'm going to pull this EQ out, and I'm going to use, let's see, I got a 9 dB equalizer here. Let's replace the EQ. By doing that, you'll see the level drops out. And then we put the EQ back in. Now that's going to adjust it to where the low end should come up some, and it did. So now we're back. You can see on the meter we have a 10 dB tilt. So now our tilt is set. We don't need to adjust any of the other EQs on the forward side. By changing this one, it made the proper adjustments. So now we just need to focus now on the levels of our channels. And we have our 10 dB tilt, so we're looking at 37, 47, so we're about 3 dB hot. So our first pad that we have is a 9 pad. And if I change that 9 to, let me go over here, I got a 6 pad here. I got a 6 pad. And I want to take, I got a 9 pad actually, that's a 6 pad that's in there. Okay, we take the 6 pad out, we put in a 9, we add 3 to that continuation. So now our levels should come back, and we're right at our 34 over 44, or 34-44 with a 10 dB tilt. So now our forward side is adjusted. We have balanced the forward signal coming out of this amplifier. So once that's done, we need to come back over here and reset the AGC to 3. And so now that's set. So if the level does fluctuate in any direction, up or down, a couple dB here or there, the AGC will maintain it at this 34 over 44. So the next step we want to do now is we want to balance the return. We're going to switch back over to the cable modem. We go to the main menu. From the main menu, we select cable modem. We'll let the cable modem come online. With the cable modem, we're going to be able to go online and record what the transmit level of our connection. And again, we want that to be a 37 dB across the board, an average of all those channels. So we hit connect, and we'll let the meter go through its process of connecting to the upstream channel. Once we do this, we're going to go and we'll be adjusting the return path here. Again, this is in the red. In this particular path, first thing we're going to encounter is a 2 pad, and it comes over and up to this reverse EQ, which is set to 0, and then another pad of 1.5, which then takes it out back to the input and to the head end. So it's going to go through its connection process, and again, we're looking to get a 37. And one of the best ways to accomplish this is once the modem is online, we'll go to the graphs page. The graphs page will display all the UCDs and the levels of each one in frequency order. So now that the modem is online, we'll go over to the graphs page, and we can see that our transmit level has an average of 39 dB. So, oh no, I'm sorry, about 33 to 32. So we're too low. We need to increase our transmit level. So with the return, to increase our transmit level, we need to add attenuation to the path, which will cause the modem to transmit higher. So in this case, we're at a 2, and we're about 4 dB. So I'm going to change that to a 6, which I have right here. So we'll pull the pad out, and if I do it fast enough, the modem won't go offline. We got plenty of time because it's pretty stable setup. And then once you put that in, we just now wait for the modem to re-register the upstream. Basically, the cable modem is online. It's got us. We're continually being talked to by station maintenance, and it's going to tell us to update our levels. So now, bam, we have already made our change. Our lowest frequency is at 37.75, and our highest is at 36.5, right in the middle. So now our upstream is balanced at 37 dB across the board. This system is now set up for the forward at 44 on the high, 34 on the low, And on the return path, it's set up for 37, which are the parameters that this system is designed for. Now we're all done. So the next thing we're going to want to do is, again, with your camera, take a picture of the amplifier configuration so you can see all the pads and EQs that were used in this setup, and also document it for document purposes. A lot of times they'll have a special pad or a special template that each amplifier will, the technician will use to fill out all the information of all the pads used and the levels recorded, document it on the tablet, and then take that document, fold it up, and put it inside the lid of the amplifier, so that when the next technician that comes to the amplifier can see the documentation of the last tech that was there and what was done. So with that, we're all done with the setup and balancing of a high gain dual amplifier using the CX380C. Thank you.